Welcome to Beyond the Talking Points. I'm Josh Jennings. Usually my cohort in crime, David Riley, is here with me, but he is out, as any good newspaper man is, getting a hot story out of Whitwell. And before we get started, just want to let you all know that the views and commentary that you may get here tonight does not represent those of WEPG or any of their sponsors. We've just gathered here today to get some information out to the voters, and joining me today are two guys running for school board in the 4th District of Marion County. And it looks like we're getting up and running here. So in the 4th District of Marion County, I've got with me Mr. Barry Allen, and also joining me, Russ Hood. I appreciate you guys coming on today and tell us a little bit about why you all are running for school board. Now, I have to say there's a couple of other people running for school board in the 4th District, and we opened this up to everybody, but I think they had some other engagements. So, just diving right in and starting, Barry, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to run.
Well, Josh, really, it's really quite simple. I have two daughters, and when I moved down here about 7 years ago, I married into Marion County. My wife is Laura Stanfield, Tommy and Tommy K. Stanfield's daughter, and when we moved down here to raise our family, we, of course, became engaged in the public schools here, and quite frankly, there are just some things that I felt like I had an opinion that I wanted to have heard for my kids.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. How about you, Russ?
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I'm running because I really care about education in Marion County. I'm a product of Marion County education, and I've been on the school board before. I was on the board from 2006 to 2010, and I moved a little bit out of the district and built a house, so I had to come off the board. But I've got some previous experience there, and like Barry, I have a concern about the education in Marion County. It's a good system, but maybe we can make it better, and we want to be a part of that.
Well, speaking about the 4th District, what all does that encompass, Russ? 4th District, a lot of people don't know 4th is just about the largest geographic district in the county. It's pretty big and got a lot of constituents up there.
Yeah, that's correct. It consists of the voting polls are at Foster Falls up on the mountain. Also have Sequatchie, and we have Whitwell Mountain. We have Suck Creek Mountain, and we also have River Canyon Road.
Oh well, River Canyon, that's out there. It's a huge area that you have to look toward. Barry, a little bit. What do you feel makes you qualified to be on the school board?
Josh, I think really what makes me qualified is primarily I come from outside of Marion County, so I've been able to see a lot of different school systems over the years. And Laura and I spent a lot of time in Middle Tennessee and Williamson County and Rutherford County, so we had a chance to really see what I think are considered by a lot of folks in the United States, probably even some of the better school systems. And when we chose to move down here and raise our family, we bring those experiences with us. And really, quite frankly, since I graduated college, I've worked in a lot of private public partnerships in education, in the schools. And so I've had a chance to see a lot of different schools, not just at the elementary school, but the middle school and the high school level. So that is one of my key platforms, is actually how to figure out how to keep businesses involved in the schools, and because I believe schools are economic development tools.
Oh, I agree.
Not just to bring industry into the community by the sheer nature of your schools, but also hopefully those folks that are graduating from your schools come back and bring those jobs back into the county and help your economy locally as well.
Yeah. Russ, one thing, you're a veteran on the school board in another district. I think you'd served 3. And yes. Then, so, a lot of people will say, yeah, he is qualified, but what really attributes do you bring that really makes you the best choice for District 4?
I think in my case, like I say, I do have experience on the school board, and I've dealt with the budgets. graduated in college, I've got a degree in business management, and I have an accounting background. So I've been through the budget cycles. I understand that. A lot of our budget here in Marion County, the BEP that we receive is between $30 and $32 million. And some don't understand that sometimes some of those funds go to special programs. And as the accounting term would be appropriated funding, and you may have funds out there, for instance, let's just say salaries, and that money can't be spent on anything but that. So it's important to know that where the money can be used, where it can't be used, and I think those kind of things are important. So I am a small business owner here in Marion County. I graduated from the school system, so I've kind of been around town here, and with the experience, I think I know what the people are thinking and what they're looking for in this county for education.
One question I want to ask both of you, and you had touched on it just a little bit, but last week I know y'all were at home sitting and watching this show, and y'all were, you were really getting into it. But we had Ruthie Thompson on, who is the director for the Thrive for 2055. And I don't know if you all are familiar with that or not, but basically it was an initiative of 16 counties that came in when Volkswagen opened in Chattanooga to ensure the 16 county region was prepared to handle the population boom that would come, and also one thing you touched on, ensuring that our local school systems are doing everything that we can to provide education so that students are job ready when they come out of high school. And so I'd just like to get your thoughts on that. As far as our county, do you think we're doing enough to be prepared, make those students prepared when they come out of high school? Is there something we should be doing differently or doing more areas that we should touch on? Barry, what?
Well, I think what we have a luxury of having in this community is that we have great teachers. We have great administrators in our schools that are teaching our kids as best as they can with the tools that they have. I think one of the secrets probably to us preparing our children a little bit more for the job force, and this is a topic that has come up a lot, and me not being a Marion County native, I know it's been on the radar for years, is school consolidation. And I think that is the one thing that's probably missing, is us consolidating the high schools, allowing for more academic opportunities as well as more non-academic opportunities. But those, being able to offer those additional tech tracks, being able to offer the additional language tracks, being able to offer the additional extracurricular tracks that help our kids get more prepared for college, and quite frankly for technical jobs, which are some of the better paying jobs in our country right now.
Important. Same question. Do you think we're doing enough?
Well,
do you think we can do anything better?
I think we're striving to try to get there. There's always, you could look at my business and there's always something I could do better.
Yeah.
The dual enrollment is something that is dear to my heart. Not everyone wants to go to college, and not everyone wants to work in the trades industry, but I think that's an important part and preparing our kids, I think we need that. I'd like to see more business come into Marion County, and education is a bottom line pusher of that when companies look at coming into this county and spending their dollars to relocate here. One of the things they do is really look at they look at the school system. So, and some of what Barry said there, we need those tracks that they can go down. Someone may want to get into electrical field or the plumbing or the auto repair or something like that. And one of the things we have that they're working on with curriculum, the county commission, the school board, and the newly formed local manufacturing that they're doing, they're trying to look at things and partner with Chattanooga State, which we have been over time, to get more things for the kids to have. One of the things in our immediate school system, sometimes the kids have to drive to different schools to get something. I know that consolidation's a really hot topic. People are passionate on both sides of that issue there.
That is it. And I'm glad you brought that up because what do you feel? How do you feel? You're for consolidation.
Absolutely.
You're for it. What do you, Russ?
Well, I see both sides of it, but I think if the dollars are there, I tend to go on the side of being for it. And, just a little bit of history on that. Approximately, I've been doing a little research and talking to some people. And about 8 months ago, the school board met with the county commission, and they talked about some future growth in the school systems in regards to buildings and stuff like that. And I wasn't there, so I can't speak 100% to it. But, they met with the architect out of Nashville who's usually done the building in the schools. Back in 2006 to 2010 area, we built Whitwell Middle School, a new school up there. And we also did an addition, annex gymnasium to South Pittsburgh High School. And we also did with Marion County High School and Jasper Middle, we did some air conditioner upgrades, and there were some upgrades done up at Mont Eagle Elementary School. So one of the things you got to look at in consolidation, is my opinion, is where you're going to get your funding from. And I don't think there's any state mandate out there yet for schools consolidation here in Marion County. But you look at the cost of that, and I kind of looked at the cost of that, a 300,000 square foot school with anywhere from $125 to $200 a square foot on building the building. And I know Collierville is now building a high school at $200 a square foot, 98 million. Of course, they're a little bit bigger than we are, but I think they looked at an approximate cost from around $50 to $60 million to build one that would house 1,500 students. We would probably have 11 to 1,200 students going in that new consolidated school if we built one, and that would give a little bit of room for growth, over the next few years. So it's a big topic. We still have bonds from the schools that we built back in 2001 that we're obligated to as a school system, and of course that obligates the county commission too. But we also got the ones from the ones I mentioned we built from 2006 to 10 at Whitwell and down South Pittsburgh. That we have those bonds too. We've also maxed out our sales tax, so we don't have that. We can back into like we did with the other prior ones. We just raised the sales tax and went with that. So if something like that's going to happen, we're really going to have to get on the funding issue and find out a way to fund it.
I understand. I guess the question that I have, let's say it costs $60 million, roughly $60 million. If we can invest that money and ensure that our children have received a better education, are going to be more productive adults, they're going to make more money, they're going to make our county better, isn't it worth spending that money?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that a lot of folks get distracted by is what is the return on that investment. And absolutely, Russ is right. I mean, anytime you raise money to build a school or any public infrastructure as far as that goes, the tax question always comes up, and how do we fund it? How do we pay the bills? And sometimes more importantly, how do we pay the ongoing cost of funding that school? That is actually the bigger nut a lot of times, and actually the actual outlay to build the facility itself. But really what that is, you've hit the nail on the head there, Josh. The return is the folks that are hopefully coming back into your community and
or at least staying here.
Or at least staying here.
Yeah,
My situation perfectly, Laura and I, after college, we lived in Middle Tennessee and chose to come back to this part of the world. But we would like for those folks to stay in this part of the world. Yeah. Marion County, we talked about the District 4, or the 4th District. That gives you an idea of how big our county is. And if, you can absolutely work in Chattanooga and pay your property taxes in Marion County. Yeah. You can work in Chattanooga where there's a lot of good jobs, and you can go shopping at Walmart and Ingles. And those housetops really make a difference. And we know here in our property tax base here in Marion County, a lot of our tax revenue comes from sales tax and from property taxes. And the more that we can get those folks that are making $50,000 and $60,000 a year, which is not unreasonable in the technical world, for example, not necessarily a white collar job. And if somebody that's coming out of your school that's making those kind of dollars and choose to live in Marion County, that just makes it all better for the rest of us. So that is your return on investment. So yeah, you absolutely may be making an investment. I'm a very pragmatic person myself when it comes to funding any kind of public infrastructure. But if you do look at the 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 year, probably much further into the future than we'll even be able to determine, I think any kind of investment in public infrastructure in relation to education, you can show the return on investment pretty easily. Collierville's a perfect example, Russ. I mean, Collierville is over in West Tennessee. The Collierville Germantown zip codes over there, quite frankly, those school systems have really exited what is the Shelby County school system and created their own school systems over there because they understand how important that education is in those zip codes. They've chosen to take their school systems into themselves. So you talk about a funding issue, not only are you exiting the support of a county school system like Shelby County from a financial standpoint, you're choosing to fund that entire thing yourself, which is a big step. So, they've seen how important education is to the growth of their community. And Collierville, really, for all intents and purposes, is a rural town. It is right there on the outskirts. It's just on the outskirts of what would be considered metropolitan Memphis. But Collierville is an old railroad farm town. Is really what it was, and it's just now become a bedroom community. And they understand how important those schools are.
One day we probably will be.
Absolutely, and quite frankly, we probably are. We're already almost there as a bedroom community, but we talked about people working in Chattanooga and working in folks outside of Marion County. If we continue to grow the successful student as they graduate from our high schools, the more likely we are of getting more businesses to locate here in Marion County, which we all want.
Absolutely. I've got a question either of you can answer, because I don't know the answer to this. Do either of you know what it costs Marion County to educate our children per student right now?
Per student, I do not.
No, I think used to when I was on the board, I think we got $57 a student or something like that, and that's been a few years ago. I'm not sure what today's amounts are, but it's difficult.
I had read, and it was interesting. I looked it up, but I could not find it on Marion County. But in Hamilton County, for instance, they know it cost them $9,700 per student per year to educate them. And I didn't know if anybody knew. And that was another question when we talk about consolidation. If we bring down the cost per student, do we make up where we're spending extra money on capital?
Yeah, of course, when you look at the budget, Russ is right. When you actually look at the budget of how we operate our schools here, of course, it's like anything else. When you consolidate, you create some expense. You probably take some expense away. So I would probably. After you look at the numbers, my guess is a lot of your operational costs may very well kind of wash out. I don't know that for sure, or if it is, it might not be that much larger than what we're currently operating under. And I'm going a little bit off of just kind of my personal thoughts, because I haven't seen the actual school budget. But just normally, Russ runs a business. We've all been engaged in businesses, and we know that sometimes when you consolidate and you create a scale, sometimes you do end up having some savings. And who knows whether we could do that with a consolidated school from an operation standpoint. But Russ is exactly right. There is some upfront cost. You can't build a facility without having a way to fund it and
because that's always the hot topic.
That is the hot topic.
Because the property owners say,
Sure.
Hey, gonna pay for this.
Right.
Sure.
But
there's obviously a direct correlation as well. You talk about property owners. There's a direct correlation between the quality of your education and property values. and you can, there's any number of economic surveys and data out there. You can just pretty much pick your source, either federal government, state government, or whatever the case may be, and you can see that there's a direct correlation between property values and the quality of education that students have in the area. So,
yeah, I agree, 100%. Statistic I saw: 83% of jobs in the state paying more than $35,000 a year require more than a high school degree. Mm-hmm. So, if you want to make more than $35,000 a year, 83% of those are going to have something outside of high school. Right. Governor Bredesen has started the program, and I can't remember, is it Tennessee Promise? Mm-hmm. Yes. Tennessee Promise. Mm-hmm. Are you for that, or are you against it? You think it's a good thing? Well, tell us your thoughts on that.
Well, Tennessee Promise, they're working there to try to better things for students and give them more opportunity. So yes, I think it's a good deal. Just in expanding on this, like we're trying to partner here. Chattanooga State has been wonderful. The county commission is they're really behind education because they know it drives this, and so having those tracks for if you're an electrician, you're a certified electrician, licensed carrying electrician, you can make good money. You don't necessarily have to go down the college degree type thing, but it is past the high school is very important for you to decide your future. The junior colleges have some things out there, and again,
that's interesting. You said that because one of the things that I read today was that a teacher, for instance, mm-hmm. usually who has a 4-year degree, comes out of college, starting pay is usually around $37,000. A trade electrician coming out of a program, $55,000 mm-hmm. is average starting pay. So it's not necessarily white collar means you're making great money.
Right.
Those people working hard out there is making good money too. But.
Well, and I think that's the benefit of Tennessee Promise, and thankfully our governor has figured that out. Is that, we need teachers, we need bankers, we need lawyers, we need doctors, we need all of those, what you would call white collar professional professions. But the fact of the matter is, when you exit high school and make that choice as to whether you're going to go into a technical school or a 4-year college, for example, the job and the economies show you that it makes more sense for you to go the technical route. And fortunately, our governor and our legislature too. Let's don't leave them out of that. They're the ones that had to cast. The ones that had to cast the final votes.
That is correct.
And they saw really, quite frankly, that income and economics of that was changing. And then also we have a luxury in this state through the Board of Regents and the University of Tennessee system. We have some of the best community colleges probably in the country, including Chattanooga State, including right. Columbia State and Middle Tennessee, and all of those things, all of those schools work well together within the Regents and with the UT system. So, gosh, let's take advantage of that and get our kids ready. If they do want to go the tech route, they can get the 2-year degree and move on to be electricians or whatever the case may be. And if they decide they want to go on and take a 4-year route and get some type of a BS or a BA or move on to a master's degree, they've got all that right there through the state of Tennessee system. So
that's right.
Maybe that's a call in. I don't really know. The phones never ring here. Y'all got the phones fired up. That's probably against Consolidation. Yeah, that's probably what. So both of you on the school board. School board has we understand what you all have got. From your personal perspective, what can we do as a community to help you guys, school board members, to help teachers, to make education better, make us stronger? What do you think? What can we do?
Well, obviously, from my standpoint, commitment, and it starts at home with your kids. The teachers can only teach your kids while they're there at school and to help them. And if the kids are more prepared in the things they need to bring to school that the teachers don't have to go back and go over and get them up to par on, then it helps tremendously. One of the things, and I just want to throw this out there, I noticed that it seems that Georgia schools pay a lot better than Tennessee. I'd like for us to step up to the challenge of that here in Tennessee. Our teachers, they work long hours. They're hardworking individuals, and but I think a commitment starts at home. As far as the school board goes, you as a school board member, you want to strive to support this system and do anything you can to help. You don't want to get in there and get in the business of the everyday things, but when the staff, the central office, and our superintendent, and Dr. Griffith does a good job, when they need help and there's something that we can do and we can call on business leaders and get people involved, I think that's the key to it.
Yeah, I think, just to echo what Russ said, it all begins at home with your students. You have to be involved as a community, not just the particular, family dynamic that's in a house, but also the other folks in the community, the businesses investing back in the schools, and the actual other government entities and agencies investing back into the schools, because it does create that return on investment. As far as a board member goes, we're very blessed and very fortunate in this community, in that we do have administrative staff at Marion County Schools that are very caring when it comes to how successful the students are and the kids here. They're very pragmatic in how that they manage a budget. I don't think anybody would go so far as to say that our director of schools and our funding mechanism is conservative. It seems to be commonsensical in how they actually manage the finances. And that's a benefit. A lot of school systems don't have that luxury.
It's true.
We do have discussions here locally about funding of schools and where we're going to get the money to fund this particular year. But I can guarantee you it's a lot easier here because of how folks have run the schools in the past compared to other schools. Go right next door to Hamilton County and ask them about how difficult it is. I don't want to throw those guys under the bus, but that story happens more than not across the state.
Yeah. In just educating myself here, and y'all may not know, are we more of a school-based system where we tend to funnel money to different schools based on their needs, or are we more of a student-based system where if we see one school that may be lacking in performance and testing, we tend to funnel more money? I'm not sure how we do that, or if you have a stance on that, what you think would be better, whether it's school-based or student-based.
I think it's more student-based. We do have 3 high schools in this county, and they are held to the standard of test scores today. I'm sorry, I'm old school.